Finding problems, that's easy. They exist in every community. I'm Terry Springs, your host. We're looking deeper, and we are talking solutions, finding out how we all can make a difference. Today on Talking Solutions, very excited to invite into the studio Patti Gerace, Marketing Director for Walker Furniture. We're hearing the name Walker Furniture a lot this time of the year for a very nice, very obvious reason, and that would be home for the holidays.
Correct.
That's what we're going to talk about today. I can't wait. In fact, so proud that Beasley Media Group is part of it.
We are so excited that you guys joined us.
Yes! We're part of Home for the Holidays. This is something with Walker Furniture that's been going on since I first came to town. I got here in the early 90s. How many families over the years that you've been able to provide with a whole house full of furniture?
We provide an entire house full of furniture, living room, master bedroom, a dining set, and then bedrooms, furniture for every child in the home. If they have 1 or 10, they all get beds, dressers, nightstands.
I love seeing the video of it, and I bet we'll have some of that on our social media, on our websites, our apps, and things like that, because we're involved and just so tickled to be part of it. But the look on the families' faces, I mean, I can't even imagine. You've got to get all kinds of feedback from these people. You change their lives in such a beneficial way.
Absolutely. It truly changes their lives, truly. It's for them a new start. It's hope for the future. It's hope for their children. When we see the kids, and the kids will say things like, now I could have my friends over and we have somewhere to sit and they could sleep in my room. They're so excited. It is life-changing. It's life-changing for us, too, to watch what it does for these families.
That's what I would call a warm fuzzy.
It is a warm
stuff
fuzzy.
Like that.
It is definitely that.
And this is such a great time of the year, too. We will talk before the end of the year here on Talking Solutions with all kinds of groups we love so much here in town. Salvation Army, the Kettle Campaign, 3 Square, and different organizations. And there are so many giving people in this whole southern Nevada area who give so many wonderful things this time of the year. But it's really hard to beat Walker Furniture and Home for the Holidays. Did I hear you're going to do 30 different families this year?
30 families. That's right. We're doing 30 homes filled with furniture, changing lives.
I don't even know how many delivery trucks that's going to take.
Takes a lot.
Wow.
Takes a lot.
Already I've seen it on television. I've heard the announcements on the radio talking about how now is the time to start thinking about entering a family in need.
If you know of a family, if you know of someone that's had hardships or domestic violence or illnesses, we get letters from teachers and priests and social workers. And those letters are the ones that really tug at your heart because they know the situation of the family. They know what's going on in the household. We've had people say, I knew there was problems in the home, but I went to do a home visit and found they didn't have any furniture. They're sleeping on a blanket on the floor or a mattress they found in the trash. And those are the people that write the letters that are so heartwarming, and they know these people are so much in need.
Patti, as the marketing director for Walker Furniture, when all of the letters have been gathered together, when we hit that deadline, and I believe I heard this year that those letters of nomination for these families in need for the furniture for their homes, December 4th?
Correct. December 4th is the final day for the letters to be given to Walker.
So it's only weeks from now. When that date passes and you sit down and you start going through the letters, are you part of this?
We have a preliminary committee, and the preliminary committee is Helping Hands of Vegas Valley. They joined us. Helping Hands has a huge volunteer base, which is awesome for us, that we need to go out to verify the needs of the family. So they're going out and verifying the homes of the families that the letters come from. So we know for sure that the families we help really, truly need the help.
There's a lot of setup work to be done before you start handing out all that furniture.
There is. The final letters go to the executive committee, which they'll get 35 letters, maybe 37 letters. And then of those, we do a ballot. And on the ballot, I tell everybody, rank the families from 1 to 10, 1 being the most in need, 10 being the least in need. And every year I tell them, don't give everybody ones. It doesn't help, you know. So they all want to give ones, but I tell them, be honest, look at them realistically. Once I read the letters, I almost know who's going to be the number one family, just by the type of letter it is, by the situation that they've had. And I've been right on for the last 15 years, pretty much. I can tell who's the number one. But it's a good thing because there's like 22 people on the executive committee. So those numbers come back, we tally them up, and that's that's how we get our last 30 people for the final recipients.
I'm just so excited that Beasley is involved in it.
It's awesome. All 5 stations having your listeners send in letters, and we've already gotten letters, and you just started.
By the way, Patti Gerace is here with us from Walker Furniture, Marketing Director. We're talking about Home for the Holidays. Happens this time of year, every single year. Going to do a whole house full of furniture for 30 families.
That's right.
One of the ones, Patti, that tugs at my heart is military. We have so many wonderful military families here in Southern Nevada.
We do.
And I would imagine that there's got to be some military-related letters that come across your desk.
We do, and normally they come from other people because the military people, they're so proud. Mm-hmm. They don't ever want to ask for help. They don't want anybody to know that they're having struggles or there's different things happening in their life and they need help because they're such proud people. So if there are military people that you know of, someone that is close, a family member, a friend that does need help, please, please write a letter for them.
We really want to know. We really, really do. And yes, they don't want to nominate themselves because of being proud.
Right.
But boy, how proud would you as a letter writer or a nominator be if that letter that you write about some family was chosen?
Yes. That would be awesome.
I would imagine that it won't go secret all the way to the delivery of the furniture because, as you mentioned, volunteers with Helping Hands of Vegas Valley are going to be out actually making sure that the need is
genuine.
Yes.
Is genuine. Although at that point, when they do the verification process, no one is promised at that point. They visit hundreds and hundreds of families through the process. No one is told at that point that they are definitely going to be selected. They're told that they were nominated and that the selection process goes through another committee, which is the executive committee. So at that point, I guess it kind of gets their hopes up that they may be selected. And we wish we could help every single person.
Of course.
But we've received over 1,000 letters already.
Already?
Yes. Yes.
Wow. So then the volunteers from Helping Hands of Vegas Valley go out to all of these different residences and say, you're in the pool of applicants.
Right.
We just need to ensure that the need is genuine. And everybody will have the furniture in the house all installed by the holiday, right?
We deliver until everyone's completed. And normally, if everyone has a home, we've had some families that didn't have a place to go to. So we waited for them to have their residence and then we delivered to them. But in good years, we've been able to deliver all the furniture before the first of the year.
That sounds so great.
I know.
I mean, how could you not feel good about this? We're talking about Home for the Holidays, something that Walker Furniture does every year. And this time around, looking at 30 families fully furnishing their home. Everything that they need.
Everything.
They're bringing in lamps and stuff, right, for the living room?
Living room, we do a sofa, love seat, or a chair, depending on the size of the home, tables and lamps. And the bedroom, the master bedroom, gets a queen bed with bedding, a chest, nightstand. And the dining room is usually, we try to do it so it would fit 6 to 8 people. So we do table, 4 chairs, and a bench, which gives a little bit more seating room for the family. And then every child will get either bunk beds or a twin bed, dress chests, and nightstands.
And for those kids who are fortunate enough to have the family get this whole house load of furniture from Walker, that's got to be the best Christmas present ever.
It is. It's so neat to see the look on the children's face as you bring everything in. And the really, really neat part is that they're so grateful. They're so thankful. We've had so many stories that really, really break my heart because of the delivery and the situations of the family. We delivered to a very young family. She was ill. They had a little girl. She was 2, and they had 2 boys, and they would tell us that they took stuff out of the trash because of her sickness. They couldn't afford to buy furniture. Well, we delivered the furniture to them. She cried the whole time we were there, and she was so thankful. And about April of the next year, Michael called me. That was her husband, and he said that his wife passed away. I was like, I start crying on the phone with him. I felt so bad. And he said, but I have to tell you, she said it was the best few months that she ever had. She was so happy to have furniture for all of us and a table to eat at, that she was so happy, and that it made the last days of her life just wonderful. And I just cried. I cry all the time. I do. I cry all the time. I cry on the way home. I cry on the way back to work. I cry to the next delivery. I mean, we've had some heartbreaking stories.
This is good crying, though. This is crying
it's good
for the
crying.
right reason.
It is.
I brought in Kleenex when I walked in this studio.
Yes, you did.
There's a reason for that. When you're going through all those letters and you're narrowing down, you say you've already got 1,000.
Yes, we have. have. And, it's so sad because every year the number of letters seem to get bigger and bigger and bigger, and the need is so great out there. Our wish is that we could help everyone. Walker is so generous. The Alterwitz family is so generous. And even when we went through depression times, they said it was a recession. I believe it was really a depression time. We had a lot of tough years, but you know what? They said we're still doing it no matter what. We have never stopped in all these years, and we will never stop doing what we do. It's just what they feel is the way to give back to a community that has given so much to Walker Furniture by always coming and purchasing from us. We're family owned, and it's the way that they want to give back. I love being part of it.
I can't imagine it ever stopping.
No, I don't think so.
I really believe it won't. As I mentioned before, we are very proud with Beasley Media Group to be part of this.
Everyone helps with PSAs, the TV stations, the radio stations, the newspapers. We get free ads with our kickoff for our letter campaign, and then we get a free ad for a thank you at the end where we thank everybody for their help. But every year, someone steps up and wants to be a bigger part of what we do. Las Vegas Rescue Mission joined us years ago, and they've been supplying toys and food for families. That's an enormous gift. Star Nursery joined us, and they're going to have trees to all the families. And it's like amazing to me. And you guys, and you want to be a part of the delivery. They want to bring all the trucks, and they want to go and deliver the furniture. It's awesome.
How could you not want to do that?
Absolutely. That's the best part. Going to the family's home and watching the look on their face and knowing that you're changing their lives.
Bringing these gifts and asking nothing in return.
Absolutely nothing.
Patti, how did this whole thing start? The idea had to be generated from somewhere. I mean, is it something that somebody had heard about or?
No, I think back in the 1990s, 94 is when we started it. And Larry was looking around the community and he said, we get letters during the year. We help people during the year, just to let you know that too. If we get a family or a need, we help them during the year. And no, we don't really say anything about it or tell anybody. We just do it. And I think Larry saw the need and he said, you know what? We need to do something during the holidays and make this an annual event. So they started with only 12 families back in 1994, and now it's 30 families. So it's grown tremendously. We've given away to these families thousands and thousands of pieces of furniture, over $1 million in cost to us. We get help from some of our vendors. They will, give us a reduction on shipping of the furniture, or sometimes they'll give us a break on cost of it, but we foot all the bills for it.
The philanthropy involved with this over all these years, and as you said, totaling over $1 million for our Southern Nevada community from Walker Furniture. That is so big. The good feeling.
We as a company and all the employees all get behind this effort. We all work together to make it happen. My delivery guys are funny. They come in their Santa hats and they deliver the furniture to all the families and set everything up. And when we leave, they have a home with furniture, a home where they feel warm and comfortable. I've had people say to me, I didn't know I needed this, but someone thought I did, and this has changed our life. One year we brought a tree to a family and the little boy said, we've never had a tree before. He was probably 4 or 5, and it was like, oh my God, he's never had a tree, And then we went back and brought gifts, and we went back and we do that too ourselves. We'll bring things to the families. Larry was so moved by a family a couple of years ago, a single dad who was raising a little boy. He was so moved by this man. He said, go back and bring them sheets and blankets and bring some dishes. And they had nothing. I mean, nothing. And he had waited to get Section 8 housing. He had waited for 2 years to get it. And his little boy was sleeping on a mattress from a crib, a little tiny mattress. Larry was so moved by that family that he just wanted to go back and do more. And we do. We keep going back, and I'll bring things, and we cry when we leave a lot of times. And it's good cry, but it's kind of like, wow, we should be thankful, all of us, for what we have. So if you know of somebody that really, really needs help, please write that letter, because we have everything and we are thankful for what we have. So let's help someone who doesn't.
There's a giver's high.
Absolutely.
When you get involved in this kind of effort.
Absolutely.
Where it feels so good. As I mentioned before, I can't see it ever coming to a conclusion because of that high. You've got to keep getting that fix of, I need to take care of someone who really, really needs the help.
Right.
And there are people like that right here. Patti Gerace, the marketing director from Walker Furniture, talking about Home for the Holidays, all excited about it. You're going to set up 30 different families with everything they need.
Absolutely.
For that house. Already you've gotten a lot of the letters, but we are inviting everybody, part of our Beasley family, Beasley Media Group, to nominate. Look around. Pay attention to the people that you work with, the kids in school, the people in your neighborhood, people in your church, people you come across who could really use this. Because if you nominate someone for Home for the Holidays and they're one of those 30 very fortunate families who get selected for a whole house full of furniture, imagine how good, as letter writer, as the person who nominates them, you're going to feel great.
We have nominees that write letters that call and say, can I come to the delivery? We've had teachers come, and we've had doctors, we've had priests, and they come and they want to be part of it. They want to see the change, not because they want any kind of credit for it, but just because they knew that this family so needed it, and they are so thankful. They say to us all the time, thank you for changing their lives. Thank you for helping them. And we say, thank you for writing the letter.
Thanks for letting us know about
it. Exactly.
When somebody is nominating a family who should be considered for Home for the Holidays, what would you recommend from the inside, Patti? How should they put the letter together so that you know what you need to know to put them into that pool of applicants?
Explain the need. Explain the difficulties that the family have had. If it's related to illnesses, or it's related to domestic violence, or it's related to whatever situation they have, please explain that part of it, because that's the part that to us is the most important element of the letter. Not, oh, they don't have this or they don't have that, or, oh, we enter every year and we don't win. It's not about winning. It's not about that. It's about the need that's genuine, the need that's there, the need that a person won't express themselves. Someone else could tell the story for them.
My favorite thing to do is to do something for someone who can never repay that favor.
Right.
Patti, is it possible that through the years with Home for the Holidays with Walker Furniture, maybe a family that had been a recipient of your kindness in past years now has had that blessing, and they turn around down the road and say, thank you so much for the way you changed my life.
Right.
By the way, I know of another family that could really use your help this year.
Yes, we have had families do that. I had a family who was just the sweetest family. They were very young. They were in college. They adopted special needs children. They now have 6 that they've adopted. And they turn around and they help other people because we help them. They want to help other people. So they have really made an effort to go out and pay it forward.
I love that idea. I was just thinking, I bet the families that have been the recipient of all this kindness pass it along.
I still have a little lady that calls me. She's got to be in her 70s or 80s now. We helped them when her husband was sick and he passed away, and she still calls every single year and tells me how she still appreciates what we did for them. And she's so funny. She'll even come and visit and bring us little gifts and stuff. She's so funny. I expect a call from her anytime because she'll see the Home for the Holidays and she'll go, you helped me. And you know what? You guys changed our lives. And even though her husband passed, she still has the furniture and still is able to enjoy it and feel good about her life now.
These families never forget your kindness.
They never forget. They never do.
That's
they
adorable.
Never do.
I can see baking some cookies coming over saying, thanks a lot. We still remember all the wonderful things that you did. Home for the Holidays, the nomination season is on right now.
Absolutely.
And we're looking for those letters of people that you have in your circle, whether it's coworkers, members of your church, school, neighborhood. I don't care how you know them. That doesn't matter. What does matter is that you care enough to have noticed their need and to pass it along in a letter. And these days, our techie world that we live in, you don't actually have to write a letter. It's okay. You could do this all on your smartphone, I would imagine, or sit down at your laptop computer.
Absolutely. We have a website dedicated for Home for the Holidays. You can go to that page through the Walker site or through the Beasley site. You can fill the letter out right online. You send it, and it goes to the preliminary committee, so it gets to them firsthand.
You should do it right away because the nomination deadline is coming up. Before you know it, we're going to get busy with the holidays. You know how this goes.
Absolutely.
December 4th is the deadline for those nominations. And on December 10th, it doesn't matter at that point how much that family needs it. We need it in before December 4th because there are a lot of steps that have to be followed to get all these 30 houses full of furniture approved, verified, delivered.
After we have the 30 families, then the process is even bigger at that point. We have to call every family. We have to assess their needs. We have to fill that order, and we have to get it processed in order to have it delivered. That's why we have the cutoff date so that we can do the rest of the process.
Logistics.
Exactly.
Got to get everything all in sync and coordinated.
Right.
So that these families can wake up at the holiday
with
a wonderful home full of furniture from Walker.
Right.
That's pretty amazing.
It is pretty amazing.
Have you gotten a lot of accolades over the years? I would imagine people from well outside Southern Nevada know what goes on here in Las Vegas.
They do. And, it was funny. A few years ago, I received a call from a company out of, I think it was Seattle, maybe. They were thinking of starting a program like ours, and they wanted to know how we did it and what we did. I told her, and I shared a lot of information with her. And she said, we are only going to do one family this year, just one. And she goes, how many do you do? And I said, at that time, it was probably 26 or 25 or something. And she said, oh my goodness, how do you do that? And I said, well, it takes a lot of work and a lot of planning. She goes, well, maybe someday we'll get up to that number. She said, but we're going to start with one. And I said, well, you know what? It doesn't matter if it's 1 or 100. That family will appreciate what you do. And they were thrilled because we shared a lot of how we put it together. And we get calls and we hear of other cities doing it too, which I think is a great thing. Because if we can share something that helps your community the way we help our community, that's a wonderful thing. And we would love to share. We share.
Kindness spreads.
Yes, it does.
That's a wonderful feeling.
Yes.
Well, I would imagine that Walker Furniture in general over the holidays, you've told me, Patti, how different people throughout the organization are affected, from Larry Alterwitz all the way down to delivery drivers.
Right.
And how everybody gets in the spirit.
They do.
It's got to be a very nice place to be at the holidays.
It is. It's really neat. And for all of us, it's the kickoff to the holiday season, knowing that we're going to help these families and then go home and enjoy what we have with ours and know that we helped make someone's life a little happier, a little brighter, and really hopeful.
Makes you not take your own life for granted.
Absolutely.
Right? Home for the Holidays, the nomination time is now. And with Beasley, we are so proud to be involved. From what I understand, Patti, what we're looking at is people are welcome with any of our stations. And by the way, I'll have all this information, the links and everything, including a podcast of the show, on our Talking Solutions Facebook page. It's on our websites. I'm sure it's on our apps for your mobile phone. We've got it everywhere.
Right.
So that everybody knows we are looking for those families in need so we can help them. And I believe that the plan is that at least one of those families is going to come from one of our Beasley nominees.
Could be one, could be more. So write those letters, everybody.
Let's do it. Let us know the families, what kind of things that they have faced, so that the people with Walker Furniture can make them part of Home for the Holidays and those 30 lucky families.
Absolutely.
I know I've been smiling this whole time. How could you not feel good about this entire giving opportunity?
We love it. It's an important part of who we are at Walker Furniture. It's an important part of every employee there, and it's an important part of the community because we get people thinking about somebody else. A lot of people are selfish today and don't think about other people. So stop and think. There's people out there that really, really need your help. Write that letter. Tell us about them. You'll feel good about yourself.
Win-win.
It is.
All these families are going to benefit. The people who write the letters are going to benefit.
Right.
We're all going to get that good feeling back.
Yeah.
It's warm and fuzzy.
Definitely. Walker Furniture, homefortheholidays.com.
I've seen that on the TV ad with Larry Alterwitz. Walker Furniture, homefortheholidays.com. Or you can go to any of our Beasley websites.
Correct.
Here's to a wonderful holiday season. And Patti, thank you so much for letting Beasley be a part of Home for the Holidays.
No, thank you for being part of it.
And we've got who else? Star Nursery, Las Vegas Rescue Mission, Helping Hands of Vegas Valley.
Yeah, those are our main people. And all of the TV, radio stations, newspapers, we can't thank you all enough for what you do. Because without all of you, we wouldn't be able to get the word out the way we need to get those letters. You all are such an important part of our lives and making other lives happy and fulfilled with new furniture.
It's Home for the Holidays with Walker Furniture.
Right.
Total number of families, do we know?
It's hundreds
and hundreds
of families.
And well over $1 million worth of furniture and items.
Right.
Wow.
Right.
Wow. There's no other word. Patti Gerace, Marketing Director for Walker Furniture for Home for the Holidays. We can't wait to do this with you.
And thank you all so very much.